Okay, a very good afternoon here on the 17th of July 2020. It is Rishi Patel, co-founder, Master of the Markets, the Elite Traders Conference and the Traders Open Day. Welcome to our live market update this evening here at Master of the Markets. We're looking to review the week. We're going to teach a topic, we're going to review the week and look at some of the key markets. So let's get straight into it. This week, I want to talk about trend identification. Trend identification is a very important aspect of trading in general. This is going to be split into a two-part series, so I'm going to conclude this next week on next week's market update. But in this first part series, I want to give you a very simple method for how you can identify trend on a consistent basis. The first thing is you need to have a consistent way of mapping out your swing highs and swing lows. Now, we use the smart money indicator here at Master of the Markets, but there are many ways to do this. You can use fractals, you can use the ATR10. There's so many different methods in which you can use to identify swing highs and swing lows. So whichever method you choose, make sure that it is a consistent method to identify trend, so it can be applied as you roll the market, as you roll your strategy forward in real time as well. So once you have a consistent method in identifying swing highs and swing lows, all you really need to do for an upward trend is to have a break of the previous swing high. And this, in essence, actually is enough to have the first stage of an upward trend. Let me explain that. So in the industry, you'll hear a lot of people saying things like, okay, so you need 3 higher highs and 3 higher lows, and for any of you that have been trading for any period of time, you'll know that that's extremely rare to see in the market ever happen, in essence. So it's very rare to get 3 consistent higher highs and higher lows. I mean, if we look back through time, okay, yes, we've got a phase here that did it, but then immediately that broke and started to do something different. But to get 3 clean, concise higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs for a downward trend, very difficult. And by the time you've got it, as you can see here, then the trend snaps and it changes already. So the market just doesn't move that slowly anymore. So now we have to adapt. So the way that the smart money indicator was built and the way we identify trend at Master of the Markets is to look for the last confirmed high to be broken. So let me explain that. So here in this trend, for example, let's start this analysis off here. So let's say this is the only part of the chart that we actually have visible access to. If that's true, and this is the only part of the chart that we can see at this time, and we're trading in real time, this is the bar that we're looking at. As of this point in time, we would say that we're in a downward trend. Why is that? That's quite simply because the last swing to be broken is a low. This was the last swing that was broken just here. You can see that this swing here has not been broken by the current price. This swing here also hasn't been broken by the current price. The last swing that was broken was this low just here, and so we would say that we are in a confirmed downward trend. Now, if we were to press forward and we were to look at what happens next, you can see that you actually have a higher low form in the market just here. This is a higher low. Now, this actually takes us into a topic that I wanted to cover into next week, which is all around single market compressions and extended market compressions, and we'll look at more detail of that next week. But when this happens in a downward trend, or even in an upward trend, if we get a single market compression forming, or in this case, if in a downward trend, we get a confirmed higher low, where in the past you've had lower lows. So if you get this in a downward trend, we call this no trend. Okay, so that's how we denote this at Master of the Market. So at this point in time, we would declare that actually there's no trend, because now what I have is a confirmed swing low, and this is a higher low in relation to the previous low. So this we would class as no trend. What we're now looking for to identify trend next is a break of either the most recent confirmed swing high or the most recent confirmed swing low. This is what we're looking for. Okay, so that's in essence what it's all about. So let's move forward on this just here. Let's go forward, and if we move towards the next set of bars, so there you can see you've got another lower high in the market, and this has now gone on to form what we call an extended market compression here at Master of the Markets, or a variation 3 for those of you on the Live Trade Mentorship Advanced program. So you can see that that's now extended market compression. This is still no trend as far as we're concerned here at Master of the Markets. Now if we move forward and we see, right, this low has been broken now by the price. This is the most recent low that's been broken. This low has been broken, and because this is a now because that has now broken, this market has now broken this low, we would class ourselves to be in a downtrend. So we're only in a downtrend, so we're in no trend for all of this period of time. If we look here from, so we were in a downtrend. This was all downtrend. This actually broke the previous swing high, so this became an uptrend at this point. This then went on to break the last confirmed swing low, so this was then in a downtrend. And as soon as this low confirmed over here, we actually moved into a period of no trend. So this actually then all became no trend. All of this is no trend, right? So this is actually how this has panned out. Now, as soon as this previous low was broken, we then take ourselves into a downtrend once again. But the downtrend is not the whole phase. It is only the section that has broken this previous low. From that point onwards, we are in a downtrend. And this is also what we call an EMCT phase as well, which I'll explain more into next week. So this is very much the first part of simple trend identification here at Master the Markets. We're looking for the previous swing high or the previous swing low to be broken. If we start in an already established downtrend from this point in time, this is an established downtrend, that actually is only an established downtrend as well from this point here. Because before this point, it hadn't broken that previous low. So from this point here, this became a downtrend. Then we have been pushing lower since then. Now, here, we have an upward trend because the previous swing high was broken. And again, we're taking ourselves into a downward trend at this point because the previous swing low was broken. As soon as we got this higher low in the market, no trend at this period of time. So this period of time was no trend for us. The smart money indicator would flag and say no trend at this point in time. And as soon as this last low was broken, or if the last high was broken, it would be declared as an upward trend. But in this case, the last low was broken, and from this point onwards, you can see that we are in a downward trend just there. And we could continue the chart forward, and we'll continue to look at more of this into next week. Okay, so let's go straight into the results of the week from here. Okay, so just taking a quick look at the performance overall this week, we incurred a slight loss this week and we have come out minus 1.1% on our elite room, our live trading room minus 0.65% as well. So just small losses all the way around, which is, as you know, what we're specializing in is keeping the losses very, very small. And obviously, when we get the winning weeks coming through, they're going to be much, much bigger. And you'll see that over a period of time. And especially if you've been following our market updates for a while, you'll see that we do repeat that pattern on a consistent basis where we take small losses, but much bigger winning weeks as well. So that's important to understand. Let's take a look at some of the highlight trades that we had running here this week. Some of the trades that did incur that contribute towards that small loss. So for the live trading room, we did take the dollar Swiss long. We took dollar Swiss long on the money bars 3.0. We actually took that trade long last week, where we entered on the high of this bar, and our expectation was that this bar here would become a confirmed turning point. Obviously, we didn't have this information when we took the trade. All we could see on the date of taking the trade actually was this information here. So that's all we had when we actually got involved with the opportunity. We actually took this long on the high of this bar. Our stop went in on the low, and then we held that trade for a number of days. The order route then moved against us eventually, and we got stopped out around about this level just here. So a small loss on the dollar Swiss franc of that much just there. Another small loss on the cash in 4.0 again. We took this long on the close. First day was in profit. Then we trailed our stop nice and tight to where our entry was. And today you can see we're stopped out of that one just there as well. So all of those things contributing towards a very small loss across both the rooms today. Just taking a quick look at some of the major markets, you can see, so euro dollar, and one of the things that I want to talk about in trend identification next week is this sort of SMC phase that we are seeing, EMC phase that we're seeing here at the moment. We've got the breakout of euro dollar to the upside. It's now broken both of those previous swings just there. We are currently on a short on this euro dollar money bars 2.0 short, where we're looking for the market to come back down. So going against us a little bit here today, but we're going to continue to hold that trade. So that is still a money bar set up short. It's still valid, but it has broken through that EMC phase that it was in prior. Dollar Swiss franc, you can see here, you can see that again, dollar Swiss franc is retracing just here. There's potential that we could see a confirmed swing high in the market in the next few days. Let's be on the lookout for that. Pound US dollar, again, we're still in an SMC phase, so single market compression. Here where we were in an uptrend and we got this confirmed lower high come into the market. And when this lower high confirmed, it actually took the trend from being in an uptrend to actually a no trend phase as well. If you see in it, initialization, in essence, short for initialization in it, on the smart money indicator, you're basically in a single market compression or an extended market compression phase where there is no trend on the actual indicator just there. So that's important to understand just there. So USD yen just here as well. You can see that there's not much happening for us at this time on USD yen. We are in an upward trend because the previous swing high was broken. We've got still higher highs. In fact, I'm just looking at this. This may be a, let's take a quick look at this. So this may be a little error here on the smart money indicator because this should actually be reading as a no trend phase at the moment here as well. The reason for that is because we were in an uptrend. We broke this high here and then we went, maybe it's not an indicator error. Let's just take a look at where this low is in comparison to this low. This low is 10592. Sorry, this low is 105,982. 106,069. So actually, yes, it is correct. It is actually meant to be. This looks like a small smart money indicator error to me from this perspective. This should actually be in a compression phase at the moment, so it's not actually in an upward trend at this time. This is a compression phase here on the dollar yen. So it looks like we're getting a few of these markets in compression phases at the moment. We can still trade. It's not ideal. This was a profitable trade here this week on the live trading room. You can see we took gold bars live long on the close of the market, and we exited that on the high of the PSWB. That was a 1 bar exit, so that banked us a 0.4% profit just there, which helped us to reduce some of the downside losses just here. The dollar index and the Brent crude oil markets, which we're tracking carefully, and we're also trading the cash in 4.01. Still waiting for a confirmed high here, so that hasn't happened yet. We're waiting for a break of this green line if and when it does happen. I imagine that some accumulation phase is going on here as orders are being stacked up, and I imagine that the market is probably looking to cover this gap in the near short term. So definitely be on the lookout for this gap to be covered. We don't have a gap covering strategy here at Master Markets at the moment, but certainly if we get the relevant signals for the short side, we'll be looking to get involved there. Dollar index also has just achieved primary bar setup here at this time. So this is the second primary in this phase. So we are lining up for a turning point at some stage as well. So be on the lookout for that dollar index. So that's pretty much it from me at this time. I look forward to talking to you all next week in the market update when we cover the second part of trend identification here at Master the Markets. Until the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, keep trading like a master. Bye.